Welcome back here in studio at Woodbine Mohawk Park. I'm John Rallis alongside my co-host, the Hall of Famer Randy Waples. And as Chad mentioned, we've got more super final action here tonight, Randy. We had four divisions last night. Now we're going to focus on the sophomores here tonight. I like, obviously, having them all on one night. But when the Breeders' Crown coming to town next week, it's obviously fair to have an even playing field for everybody involved. It'll be tough for some of these rookies to come back on a 6-day turnaround and get ready for eliminations on Friday.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair. You know, you want to give them the best opportunity they can. Breeders' Crown, I mean, as tough as the super finals are, the Breeders' Crown is going to be that much, tougher. So, you don't want to make them come back on a 5 or a 6-day rotation. So this should work out good. And I agree with you. I do like having them all on the same night. But we don't get to host the Breeders' Crown all the time, so I don't mind, moving our schedule around to get that here because it's great racing.
It's a nice appetizer, though, right? We get to focus on the provincial program here and look at our local stars, and then we get everybody to come into our own backyard, like we mentioned yesterday, and watch all the action over the next couple of weeks. I'm really pumped. Like, it's hard not to get excited because, again, it's not like it's an annual thing that we get to host. This is, again, only an opportunity we get every how many years. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I mean, it gives us it makes us proud. You know what I mean? Because some of these provincial champions that we seen last night and we're going to see tonight, they're going to be probably Breeders' Crown champions as well. You know, one thing about Ontario, if you're buying Ontario, you can race anywhere with them. So really looking forward to it, and looking forward to tonight too.
And speaking of some of those stars and speaking of last night, let's recap some of those golds from last night and look through every division once again. So we're going to start off in race number 6 from last night. We're going to focus on the 2-year-old filly trot. Obviously, Tyler Jones had to sweat out a bit of an inquiry there, but it was a really good effort by his filly and his dad's Dustin Jones filly, one that he also owns and bred and trains. She was a much different filly than the weeks prior, and it seemed like that bridle change really made a difference.
It did. It really helped her out big time, but this was a great drive. Let's take nothing away from the drive that he put on this horse. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people are kind of like more focused on whether or not he his whip in celebration might have touched the horse, I don't care. All I seen was a young kid there driving for his dad with a ton of pressure on his shoulder, coming out of the 10-hole, going for $300,000 and making every move the right one.
Emotions running high,
Here we
right?
go. This is going to be a good shot. Yeah.
Emotions running high. It's his first super final victory.
What a
with
nice
this filly.
filly.
Big time. Look, I mean, even Tyler kind of mentioned how much air that this filly's taken, and she still raced well despite all that. So the biggest thing was he had just the utmost confidence in her. And you mentioned it, right? He scored her down in the post parade and was able to jolt out of there from the outside draw and work out a picture-perfect trip. But this filly's been super all year, and she deserved a win like this.
She did, but I'm going to tell you something there. One thing that Tyler is very fortunate is that the guy that's in his back pocket, his father, because if you really listen to that interview that he gave you last night there, whatever, when he said that he trained her and he didn't like the idea that she was looking back at him, that is pretty cool, man. That a guy would make that bit of a risk to go to that bridal change going for $300K because he didn't like the idea that she was paying more attention to him than what she was supposed to be doing. Very cool. And well done, Dustin and Tyler.
Well, Wicked Good Horseman is Dustin Jones, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and he made.
But that's old school.
Yeah,
that's
they're going to make
school.
the necessary changes that are required, and it was nice to see them get the job done there in race number 6. And we saw one talented rookie filly. We're going to see another talented rookie filly on the pacing side here in a clean deal. She took on some challengers, Randy. It was another great drive by Doug McNair, but this filly certainly responded in a big way yet again.
She really, is stamping herself as the girl to beat, you know what I mean? And I mean, now the cattle wash thing coming back. And what I like about her, too, is it just seems to me like her body type, she's really going to fill out on her time off and, kind of go from there. I heard in Rob Fellows talking to you last night, he said that she's not eligible to the BC.
Yep.
Yeah, but, something that's only going to play out well for her because they can power up on stakes next year.
Big time. And you know what? Look, the silver lining is you end your season on a high.
Yeah.
You come back next year and hope that she comes even stronger. And just by the rookie campaign that she had, I mean, you have to figure that she's going to come back sharper than ever. And, just, again, an exceptional job by everybody involved with this filly. And kudos to Doug as well with the way he's also managed her and driven her all season long.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Everybody's done a great job with her, no doubt about that. And this is what you kind of like there too. You just saw on the shot there. a bit unruly after the race. Like how much energy does she still have left when she's bouncing around and right after the race? That's kind of nice to see that. Well done, the groom on that one. I can't remember her name. They did announce it, but don't remember her name. But well done.
She wanted no part of a headshot that
No.
filly. No. But, we're going to look at a Strobe Light here who got the job done in the 2-year-old trotting colt division and was following some bad cover. But this colt put forth a nice effort there. And, I mean, he's just been a really nice colt. And nice to see Ben Barrajan having success with an alarm detector progeny as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, I mean, I again, though, you got to take a real hard look at the ability of Benoit Bergeron. We see this every single year in the guy's career. He takes a horse that has ability, and for some reason or other, between his training and the way that he hangs them up, he gives them more ability, So very, very well done to Team Bergeron on this one. And James McDonald really, picking this guy up, about halfway through the year, maybe?
Yeah, because at Grand River, I believe Tyler Borth had to go to mass deployment, one that he co-owns.
Yes.
So James McDonald was able to pick up Strobe Light. I believe it was at Grand River, and, these two have been a nice match. But again, you want to talk about changes. I mean, Strobe Light never made miscues throughout his young career. Makes it in a tough moment, obviously, in the Mohawk Million. What does Ben do? He puts the trotting hopples on in the following gold, stays at it in defeat, just keeps him on, and he put forth a good effort. So this guy's not Breeders' Crown eligible, but again, one that we're going to look forward to watch compete as a sophomore as well.
Agreed.
We're going to look at race number 9, and this was the headliner, right? We got a chance to see a superstar in action here. Bojangles making it a perfect 10 for 10. Given the conditions and everything, Randy, I mean, on a track that was likely rated good, I mean, 50 and 4 mile, I mean, this was a really strong performance.
Do you remember when Some Beach Somewhere won the super final as a 3-year-old? More or less weathered just like this, and it's just weird there that, so many people, compare them, the two of them, and then he ends up doing the same thing on a dirty night as well. And to me, there's just no end to them. They're just all the rest of them are chasing. I thought Windor did a great job, in being second in that race. But this is just, everybody else to me is just they're just chasing this guy.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is interviewing Doc and having him say that, look, we're going to take it week to week with this guy. I mean, even though he's had such a great rookie campaign so far, even though some of his starts haven't been overly taxing whatsoever, we're still going to really mull over the decision and really figure out, wait till the last minute if we're going to enter him into the Breeders' Crown. And, I know, obviously, Doc has his number in terms of starts that he wants. Selfishly, of course, Randy, we would love to see him compete, but that's what makes Doc and so many trainers so great is they're going to do what's best for the horse. And there's a year beyond just this year. That's the most important thing. Yeah,
that's the whole thing. Whatever's the best for the horse. He's got a great crew that surrounds him, Doc. He's obviously extremely talented himself. And another example right here of this guy here, you know what I mean? Doesn't want to stand still, just still. Like, you would think that after what they have to do, they'd just be exhausted, but no way. He's still into it. And, just very, very well done. I mean, this is, to me, one of those generational horses that only comes around once in a blue moon.
And it's always fun to see the excitement even with the caretakers involved.
Yeah.
Like Riley Noble doing, obviously just gets excited. Just obviously more excited than we do watching him. We get so excited to be around this colt every day, and it's a great opportunity for these guys to be around.
It's a lot of work for these grooms to get to this point.
While we did focus on the super finals last night, those were our headliners. We did have a milestone being reached in the finale on last night's card. It was Travis Henry picking up career victory number 3,000 with the Mark Etzel trainee Timel Riggs. And Travis, he's been a recent addition here to this circuit, and I think he's made a good account of himself, Randy.
I would say he's made a very, very good account of himself. And 3,000 wins at this young age, that's amazing. I mean, this guy could really take that win total sky high.
Fitting that he picked up a grassroots final victory with nickel and dime for Mark Etzel, and fitting that he picks up win number 3,000 for trainer Mark Etzel as well. Again, I mean, Mark's given him a big opportunity to sit behind some of his horses, and I think Travis has done a great job.
Yeah, no doubt about that. He's done a really, really great job. But to the same effect, though, too, again, going back to what I was saying with Tyler and his dad, not that, with Mark that way, but it's nice to have that steady kind of older presence around you, when you're young and you're just kind of starting to get going. You can have a great night Monday and then a horrible night Tuesday, and you still got to show up at the barn on Wednesday, you know, and these old guys that have been around a long time, they can kind of get you through that. Myself, I was very, very lucky to have a guy named Fred Hoffman in my corner that could kind of guide me through that. And, you know, Travis, you know, he really, really lucky to have the Etzel influence around him.
Big time in nickel and dime because he won the grassroots final. We're going to see him in this super final as well, right? It didn't fill, so he was able to
I think I used him.
Used him underneath. He's sharp.
I think I did.
He really is sharp,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a tougher task, obviously.
Much.
But still, if you have the opportunity to enter for 300,000, why not with a really sharp colt? All right, let's get right into tonight's action. We've got 13 races as well. You didn't even need to look at the program to figure out those 13 races because of our buddy Chad, right? He gave us the indication. What was it, 2 Yetis, you said?
Yeah, he's a 2 Yeti man on it.
That's when you know we've got a long night ahead of us. But it's going to be a fun night, and we're going to kick things off here on our preview for this card in race number 3 that kicks off the early pick 4. Field of 9 here, and I think this is a competitive race, though, Randy. And the morning line favorite is going to be the 8-horse I Love This Bar. He was so good in his career debut. I believe you made him your horse to watch that night in his first lifetime start. Aggressively handled in start number 2. You know, tired. But I think if he maybe reverts back to an off-the-pace approach, I think we're going to see a similar effort that we did on the end of it to a start number 1. But again, you can go so many different ways here. Where did you go?
I ended up going to the 7-horse. I've used him a couple of times. Let Her Sink, son, is going to be my top pick in here. I thought that he went into this last one. September the 16th was his last start before October the 2nd, so he went in with a little bit of a stale rotation, 16 or 17 days, a little over 2 weeks on this guy, and I thought that this was a really, really nice effort for this son of Big Jim and for Boydie Wilson. So let's take a look at the replay of Let Her Sink, son, and I'm hoping that you guys will see, you know, kind of what I see. Now, he loses a little bit of ground here. Like, he's 2.5 lengths out, but you see at the at the head of the lane, he's 5.5 lengths out, and the margin of victory ends up being losing by 4.5. So loses a little bit of ground on this turn, and then he starts to make the ground up. Now, I don't know if that's just a case of kind of a big kid there, is what he looks like to me out there. But at all times, watch Travis Henry. He's never worried. He's never getting into like, this horse is not racing good. I think that he's very happy with the way that now he's drawn away from this field again, still hunting these two. Not going to get the job. But look at him here closing back up again. So I think he's just a bit of a green horse. And I think that at some point Travis is going to, you know, get him stoked up and get him into the race. And I could see him coming up with a big effort in there. So Let Her Sink, son, is the way I'm going to go.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that effort last time out, right? I mean, I thought the effort 2 starts back was really strong. I mean, he had some real go on the end of it, and obviously, like you mentioned, maybe just a little bit of greenness. I mean, he just gapped that turn. He looked like he was going to be a main player in that race and was out of contention as soon as they hit the top of the lane because the other 2 were able to separate themselves. But again, it's only start number 4 in his career, right? So maybe he's going to get even sharper here. And if we see an effort from September 16th, I say look out. I didn't use him in my pick 5 ticket just because I didn't know how to evaluate that effort. But
so where did you go?
I went to the 8-horse. I Love This Bar. I really do think if we get
is that because you like the horse, or
a little bit of both, a little bit of a hunch play. But this is one that I think is going to benefit from having a helmet to chase in this spot. Look how good he was 2 starts back, right, when he had a helmet to chase. So, you know, maybe he just got a little bit green out there, just got out sprinted there by a horse who took a lot of support. I think the winner was 6-5 in that outing, and I didn't expect that horse to take that much support. But he was clearly the best in that effort. So I'm happy with this Kevin Ben trainee. I think he can get better with a little bit more experience.
There's one other horse in here that you and I both think is being a little bit sneaky. Now, I put him down in the bottom of my ticket. I don't know if you used him or not. Scorpion Sealster.
Underneath. Right in for second.
Me too.
Sneaky.
Let's talk quickly about him.
Yeah, sneaky good pace in his qualifying effort as well as his most recent effort. Look, this is a horse who appeared to have some talent, but doesn't pace the smoothest, though. That's the thing. But there's speed there. And if he puts it all together tonight, he's definitely a factor. I don't want to let him beat me in a multi-leg sequence.
I think that the reason that he throws the steps in is because there's too much speed.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not a bad problem to have.
That's not a bad thing once you get it figured out.
We're going to move on to race number 4, and that's going to kick off the pick 6 sequence. And field of 10 here in this spot. But, Randy, there's one filly in particular that you and I both really like in this spot, and she's going to draw the middle of the gate. That's going to be Easy Station.
Yeah, I used Show Me the Money Dale last week up on top when I used her in here for second. She did nothing to disappoint me, more or less coming right back to the same class, but she does have the 9 hole, and we both of us were really, really big fans of Easy Station. So let's take a look at this Kyle Fellows trainee in her last start. This is a daughter of Captain Treacherous out of a well-said mare. $60,000 Lexington purchase. And boy, when Louis stokes the fire on this one, my goodness, does she ever have some wheels on the end of it, this 2-year-old. So let's take a look at her. The replay is also going to show you the winner of this race, who's got the 9-hole in here tonight, and that's going to be Show Me the Money Dale. Like I said, I had her up on top, did nothing to disappoint me, but watch Louis when he starts to stoke this, and we're maybe a little bit of an advantage. Show Me the World Dale, I would put her as slight, not small, and she's well built, but slight. But this one here, to me, looks like she's carrying a little bit more power, size-wise, thickness-wise. So I'm going to go Easy Station.
Yeah, me too, and I think she just likely needed that start, right? I thought the qualifying effort was good. I thought the effort last time out was good. Look, Show Me the Money Dale was sitting on a good effort. She had a locked-in journey at the head of the lane, and Dougie was only able to angle her out pretty late, and she just missed in that outing. But it was a great effort. I'm not going to knock the effort last time out. I just like the way that this Kyle Fellows trainee was moving, and I'm willing to go all in, with her. She's going to be my best bet tonight. I like everything about her from the race before to the draw. And I think this is a really good spot for her.
Yeah, what's funny with Show Me the Dale there is anybody had ever told me that a Bettor's Delight on the Rocklamation would be a good cross, I would have said no way, because she's a rock and roll Hanover, and she was a really lazy horse. Most Bettor's Delights are lazy, but this one, she can fire up on an instant there. Yep. So this is going to come down to a really nice two-horse race, but the 4-horse also impressed me, Wool Black Betty.
Yeah, that was a good effort by her, right? I mean, in her first career try last time out. Again, just like you, I prefer another one in this spot. But there are some other fillies in this spot that I think are going to put forth good tries. But you and I are just really keen on Easy Station. And again, how could you not be?
Good draw.
Big time. We're going to move on to race number 6 here in this spot. And this is going to kick off the late pick 5. And this is also going to kick off the string of OSS Golds that we have. So we're going to kick things off here with the 3-year-old trotting fillies. We've got a field of 10 in this spot. Morning line favorite's going to be the 2-horse Stormont Beautiful, Randy. And, man, this filly had some serious wheels on the end of it. I know she had the panel set up for her up front because there was quite a bit of action in that race. But this filly was in high gear, wasn't she?
She's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and, it's funny. How many times have we said there's 2 parts of the year? And she didn't start the first part of the season off as being the best. But, I mean, anybody's going to look at the second part of the season and say she's by far the best. I mean, you really seen it. I mean, it was coming along, but you really seen it in the Elegant Image, because she faced really, really tough horses, and she just blossomed, and she's been carrying that momentum ever since. I got her in for second. Who do you got in for second?
I've got Exquisite Taste in for second.
Bingo.
Sneaky good last time out, right? I mean, a lot of things went against her last time out, and I think she's ready for a pretty big effort tonight.
That's going to be my top pick in here. I'm going to pull the trigger on Exquisite Taste in here for Eric Nadeau and J.R. Plant. Best of luck, J.R. I think you got yourself in a good spot here. So anyway, let's take a look at the replay last week. Now, she had to do some battling to get into that 2-hole. You can see 26 flat. And then, when we come to the head of the lane, you're going to see the horse that she is following is going to start to get a little bit tired. Stove it, and she's going to end up making a break, which you can see by JR. He wants out, or Exquisite Taste wants out. And she's going to make a break here, you're going to see, and then Dougie's going to do everything he can to get her out of the way, away from JR. He wheels her right to the inside. Now watch what Exquisite Dale, first start Lasix, 26-second park to get into that spot. Looked like she wanted out big time at the head of the lane. Couldn't. Does she have any go at the end? I say she does. I think that this was a really good effort. And John, going back, that was Stormont Beautiful that aired there, but going back to the first of the part of this season, this was one of the best 3-year-old trotting fillies that we had at that time.
Yeah, and you could tell how good she felt, because early on in that mile, you could see there was some jostling for positioning, right? JR wanted front. I mean, she was 38-1, but he wanted front. So, I mean, she drew well last time up, but she also must have been feeling pretty good. And by that effort that we saw, especially in the stretch drive, you have to say that filly's pretty live. So you got another good draw to work with. I thought it was a trouble trip. And look, that was her first start since July 16th, and that was first start Lasix, as you mentioned. So you have to figure she's going to be even sharper tonight. But you still have to step up your game against the filly like Stormont Beautiful. The biggest wild card, though, is Mona Lishi. we know maybe based on talent, nobody's got more talent than her when she's on her game. She hasn't looked like herself consistently this year, and I think that's a bit of a problem, coupled with the fact she's got the outside draw to work with as well.
Yeah, the breaks are starting to come a bit more than for a filly that never made them. I was wondering if maybe Blake might go to the trotting hobbles on her, but he elects not to. And where I'm kind of playing against Stormont Beautiful, I really like the way Exquisite Taste raced, second start, Lasix, middle of the gate, and where I think that maybe Stormont Beautiful is a little bit beatable is the fact that she drew the inside. She doesn't usually seem to have a strong push off the gate unless she's in the middle of the gate or to the outside of the gate, down deep into the 2-hole here. Unless she can really push forward, because they're going for 300K tonight, there's going to be a lot of horses coming out of there. She may find herself, in a bit of a bad spot.
Yeah, I think the middle of the gate draw, I think Sprite Sealster, Foxy Amy, who got herself in the final after winning the grassroots final. I think Exquisite Taste is going to want to leave out of there. I think Bright Green, Mona Lishi, there's going to be some speed to chase. So maybe Bobby doesn't get away in a great spot off the car, but I think with the early movement we see early on, I think it just might be a benefit to him to just sit back and survey the action, and maybe she's just going to be so live that it won't even matter.
She's the one to beat.
Yeah, big time.
Agreed.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 7. That's going to be the other
one to beat
OSS
in
Gold,
here.
and certainly is one to beat here. And Chantilly getting the job done last time out as she returned to a pari-mutuel action for the first time since August 24th. She clearly looked like herself, Randy, and I mean, anything even remotely close to that is just good luck to the rest of the field. I mean, it's tough. I mean, when she's on her game, she's proven that she's just separated herself against this field.
She is that. And I mean, you were down in Lexington when this went on. So unfortunately, Randy had to do the interview. And I'm going to tell you something, John. The look on James's face when he come back into the winner's circle there, I mean, he had a smile on his face a mile wide, and the same with Nikki. You could just tell like both of them were just so relieved at the way that she raced. So let's roll this, and maybe somebody out there can tell me somebody that can beat her, because I'm not 100% sure that I can find anybody to beat her. She's going to be my top pick in here, but we got to make sure we tell them too, John, no show wagering on this race.
I think for us, we want to see another great effort for her because, again, Breeders' Crown eliminations are going to be next week. We would love to see, again, we've spoken about it a lot, and there's so many great fillies. We would love to see the, Mickey and Minnie, Chantilly hook up again when both are at their best, right? Especially here. So, but look, I mean, look at the body language, Randy. What more needs to be said?
Yeah,
right?
This is about all that needs to be said. And I'm looking at her as a free square in the pick 5.
And that was a nice effort by her there. And obviously, I thought a nice effort by Millie Mae Hanover to get up for third. She's put forth some sneaky good efforts, Millie Mae Hanover. I know, again, we talk about this with some other divisions, especially Bojangles. It's tough to beat Chantilly when she's on her game. It's like her and everybody else, but that's not to discount the other fillies in this division. There's some talented ones as well. It just one seems to be a little bit faster than the rest. But how about the job that John Pentland and Bob McClure have done with Perfectly Chic?
Huge.
I mean, she's bankrolled just shy of $300,000 this year. I mean, they've done an exceptional job with this filly.
They have. I mean, really, really great job. And like you were saying, there's a case to be made in a lot of ways for a lot of horses in here. And one that kind of, made me throw her in on the bottom, and maybe, Louis has, an ace up his sleeve or something, but I was a little surprised, to tell you the truth, that Louis opted away from Simply the Best to go with Wicked and Single. So I'm going to throw Wicked and Single in this. Now, JR did really good with Simply the Best. He had a win in the grassroots final, but I kind of thought that maybe Louis would go back to this one. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was listed.
He wasn't even listed? There you go. Take the choice right out of his hands. I'm happy with JR. But either way, I'm going to throw Wicked Single in the bottom. I do think that she's too deep of a filly to go through this whole year without a win registered. I don't think the win's going to come aboard tonight, but I would not be shocked to see a second or a third come out of it.
Agreed. And again, we've talked about some fillies that have been impressive. Wicked Pace doesn't seem like herself right now. We know she's got the talent, but how about the job Austin McEnany's done with Eternal Delight? I know she was a distant second last time out, but a really good effort. She's kind of tried the grassroots, the gold, and here she is in a super final. Look, this filly, you've been a fan of her from the word go, Randy, and she's put forth a really nice sophomore campaign.
If you took Perfectly Chic out of the equation, would Eternal Delight not pretty well be everybody's second choice in this race?
Especially given the last couple of tries.
Yeah.
I think it would be. I think she'd be in contention there with the rest of them. So there's our thoughts on race number 7. We're excited to get a chance to see Chantilly, our reigning Sun Beach Summer Horse of the Year, back in action. We're going to move On to race number 8, and this is the OSS Gold for 3-year-old trotting colts. And PL Spencer, 6-5 morning line favorite, Randy, and just seems like you can do just about anything you want with this guy. And I'm just watching his maturation from his 2-year-old campaign to now. He just does everything so easy, and he's so fluid. It's amazing.
He is. Yeah. He really, really is, But then, he's got, again, a lot of things going for him. And the big thing that he's got is the man that sits behind him every day. And Stevie Bossage, an unbelievably great trotting trainer, great trainer, period. Trotters or pacers, but trotters especially, the guy specializes in, and he is good. And he can bring these horses into these finals and have them on their game. So let's take a look at PL Spencer, who right now, 15 starts this season, John, 13 times top 2. I mean, only twice has he not been on the ticket. And how about the mark as a 3-year-old, 51-3?
Yep. Incredible. And again, we see this victory here. Just did it so easy, Randy. I mean, again, he can do it any which way. Look at the body language of Bob. Look at the body language of this colt. I mean, it's just easy come, easy go. It's amazing.
It is, just a really, just a horse that, like I said, the connections have done everything right by him. And he doesn't know that this is the end of the season.
Nope.
He's as good as can be right now. So great job there. And, Bobby McClure setting himself up for another really, really big night.
I mean, the biggest thing is, in overnights, he was finding himself in some overnights with some older rivals, maybe tougher, some tough company as well. And, working out some nice trips. He was winning, all while staying sharp in between the golds. And I think stuff like that is pretty important. But I think there's some other intriguing, horses in this spot. How about the one you've got in for second, Richie Rich? New connections now. So a new ownership group here. We've got Amanda Riley doing the training duties here tonight as well. And, his last couple of efforts, he hasn't been himself, right? I mean, he's made breaks, which you weren't accustomed to seeing. He's going to be making his first start since August the 22nd, Randy. I didn't know where to rank him here in this spot, but James McDonald's going to take over the driving duties here in this spot. One that I think is intriguing if he can put it all together here tonight. I just don't know if he's going to be able to.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. He's missed some time, different connections, a lot kind of going. They're getting a bridle change tonight. They're going to go from blind to blinkers sent in by Amanda Riley tonight. The way I look at it is this there. I would be the first to say that PL Spencer right now is the best horse in this division. But earlier on, I would say that Richie Rich was the best horse in the division as well. So I think that they're the two best horses in the race, but one's been getting raced consistently in the barn that he's used to. One has just made a huge barn change, hasn't been raced as much. So I think I'm being a little bit coy maybe on putting Richie Rich in for second. There might be a couple of other ones in here that maybe deserve the second status. But again, I go back to the fact that when he was on his game earlier on in the year, I'm not saying that I didn't think he was the best one out there for a piece anyway.
I thought he was
earlier
on.
Me too.
I mean, he definitely raced like it, right? So
the speed that he brought, the rest of them didn't have at that point.
Somebody's got to drop post 10, and it had to be LMC Wagon Wheel in this spot. Another Ben Barrow-Jean trainee, a son of Wheelan and Dealin. He's had a really nice campaign. Again, just shy of $200,000 this year. Tyler Borth has done a great job with him as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for Benoit because he's got two horses in tonight that, in my opinion, could really make a big difference in these races. LMC Wagon Wheel, I got in for third. Unfortunately, drew the 10-hole, and Roxy Hart. Unfortunately, she draws the 10-hole as well, and I don't think I used her. Both of them have vicious moves on the end of it. Just a matter where they get away.
All right, we're going to move on to race number 9, and that's going to kick off the final pick 5. So the 3 pick 5s again because we've got 13 races. Looks like a 2-horse affair here in this race, Randy. Crackshot, the morning line favorite at 6-5, and All-Star Maniac at 8-5 in the morning line. Crackshot was superb last time out. He was dominant, getting the job done at odds of 2-1. All-Star Maniac worked out a perfect trip. Didn't have as much to offer as maybe we expected given the trip, but that was his first start in quite some time. I think he's going to be even sharper tonight.
I completely agree. First start in a very long time. It was a really good effort, but I'm thinking that he is working himself up to be second status.
Okay.
That's where I'm looking at him. Let's take a look at the replay from Crackshot in his last and see what you think out there. But this is where I'm looking at All-Star Maniac. I never thought that he'd come up with some huge effort because he did miss some time. Sitting in the 2-hole, had to expel some energy from the 5-hole to get into that 2-hole, 26-4. And this is where I think that I'm looking at All-Star Maniac maybe as needing one more before he beats that horse in front of him. Now, I do think that this race sets him up that he's second best horse in this race. but I don't see him as being, like, at this point to me, he's starting to weaken a little bit, and we don't usually see that with All-Star Maniac. You know, maybe what they have him down as beating 3.5. I'd say more along the lines of maybe 4, even closer to 5. So basically, he gave up a second. I think he can make up a lot of that this week, but I don't know if it's going to be enough with Crackshot even outdrawing him in the post position, too.
You could see that Doug looked like he was trying to keep James locked in, and then it didn't even matter.
No.
I mean, he just took off on the rest of the field, and he proved he was clearly the best. I'm just hoping that All-Star Maniac can be a little bit tighter, but I do think that Crackshot is definitely the one to beat here in race number 9. That wraps up our OSS action here, and we're gonna move on to race number 11. It's gonna kick off the final pick 3 of the night. We've got a field of 10 here in this spot, and Figment, Randy, I mean, he's been ultra sharp, and he's gonna be a very, very, very short price in this spot, deservedly so.
Yeah, he's, you know, he's in against 2 horses that I thought raced incredibly well in their last race. One being Paw Salt from the rail, but a 2-year-old. Yep. You know, lightly raced. The other one being Full of Colors of Chantal Mitchell's from the 6-hole. I think this horse is extremely live. But again, a 2-year-old. Figment, this is a 3-year-old that Dave Keys has slowly brought along. And I think he's really paying the dividends of it now. So let's take a look at this replay of Figment. And this replay is going to show you the 6 and the 7. So let's take a look at the 7 horse that's going to be driven by Scotty Young. He's going to end up being the winner in here, and he's going to be my top pick. But go to this 2-year-old that you're going to see that had the 9-hole in his last start, and he's going to be making a move down here for Louis Waugh, right at the back of the pack there right now. And you can see Louis just moving this gray back and forth. Again, you know, look at the easiness of Figment. But watch Louis here, too. He has to start him, stop him, move him, start him, stop him, move him, and watch him the whole way. Okay, Figment, easy win. Look at the body language. But look again with Full of Colors. Nowhere to go, completely shut down at the back of the pack. This horse has gate speed. You know, if he decides to go out of there with him tonight and gets the right kind of trip, he's a pretty sharp horse. But I find it very difficult, John, to take a 2-year-old over a very sharp 3-year-old.
Yeah, completely agree. I probably should have rated Full of Colors a little bit higher, but Figment is going to be a price of the shortest varieties, and he's going to be easily the one to beat there. We're going to move on to race number 12 here, and we've got a field of 7 in this spot, and we're going to get a new recruit here for Ashley and Ed Hensley, the 3-horse Snack Attack. He's exiting the Little Brown Jug final, was 6th in that outing, but this is a son of Stay Hungry, who's had a really nice career so far, and he's had a nice sophomore campaign as well. This guy's got some speed. From a talent standpoint, I don't think anybody in this group has more talent than him. Just, you know, obviously with the first start for the new connections, hasn't raced in a couple weeks. I just wonder if he's going to be able to get acclimated here at first asking. Yeah,
I mean, you know, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, too. I'm just going to do a wait-and-see approach. He raced twice on September the 18th, but not since. So the way I'm going to go, though, is Blazing Cruiser. Picking up James McDonald tonight. Jody has been doing a really good job with this horse for Rod Hughes, but he's also part owner of THKC Crunch that hasn't raced since the Simcoe, so that's the route that he's going to go. But Blazing Cruiser, I would consider this sneaky good on the inside, John. Here he comes with Jody, and always has good wheels on the end of it, this guy. Big motor with this guy. I would say as he gets older, he's going to become a Saturday night special, the level of talent that he possesses. And Jody springs him right here when he's finally got wheel-wise, and I think he was real good up in there. So I'm going to pick up James McDonald tonight, and that's the route that I'm going to go.
Tough way to kick off the late double. Again, I think Snack Attack's got the most ability here in this bunch, at least to me, taking on the toughest of rivals. But I think you can go several different ways. I went to Lions Frankie J here in this spot, but a nice competitive field. I think the last 2 races are pretty competitive to close out this pick 5, pick 4, and late double. There's our thoughts there on this Saturday night program. We've got to go outside because Saturday night, so we're going to go to the Canadian National Anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to direct your attention to the Mohawk Park Winner's Circle as we are happy to welcome back Peyton Reese. Peyton is a 15-year-old Irish-born Canadian singer-songwriter and actor from Toronto. Among her many accomplishments, she writes and publishes her own songs and starred in the award-winning Canadian movie Scarborough. These days, she can be found performing in many of the famous music venues around the GTA. She's always extremely proud to be performing here at Mohawk, a venue she considers to be a second home. Here is Peyton Reese with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
As always, a great job, Peyton. Thank you. We'll be back here at Mohawk Park and helping us kick off night 2 of our Ontario Cyrus Sticks Gold Super Final program, coming your way in about 15 minutes' time.